Good day to you, Mr. Ferrer.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, and yourself?
Pretty good.
We're just taking a afternoon cruise here. What are we sitting in, Danny boy?
What we are sitting in is a roadster, a 1927. This one's 1923 Ford Roadster.
Whoa.
Yep. Belonged to my mentor.
Over 100 years old, this vehicle. I wish we could get, maybe after we'll have to take a picture in front of it to get, the full thing of, what we're seeing here. But, hey, I found a little toy over here.
We're coming.
We're coming for you. Hey, everybody out there. My name is Ashley, and I got Danny Ferrer here sitting next to me. He is a jack of all trades and master of many, I'm sure. And I wanted to get him on in front of the camera to kind of drop some knowledge on y'all, because you know a lot, dude. Right?
Yeah, I try, I guess. But depending on our topics here, I think I can shed some light on some things.
Right on. Well, I'm super excited because I feel like one of our connections that we've always gotten lit up and fired about talking about is hemp.
For sure.
Right?
Hemp is our baby, for sure.
Yes. I feel like you have a ton of knowledge and experience in the space. Do you want to tell me how you got started?
Sure.
In the space?
Hemp is how I got started in the space is mostly dealing in THC and being in the growing and the legal distribution of THC. Basically, hemp is a natural transition into that. Majority of the goodness of that plant actually comes from the hemp, not from the buds, even though there's a lot of medicinal in the buds. But I like to try to focus on what it can do for our society and for our communities, just the plant itself, the stalk, which is the male hemp plant. And that is something that was taken out of our communities, and we need to focus on bringing it back. It's good for our local economies, national economies, and really it kind of checks off all the things that we all like, from being organic to being green to and basically not trashing our communities and our earth. So that is something that I like to try to speak on as any time that I can. So if you had any questions or any way to or any direction that I could help or shed some light on, I would love to. Do you have anything that?
Well, sure. So you say that you started in the THC space. That was out of state. Was that in California?
I would say Michigan.
In Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan, Dearborn initially, then Battle Creek, and then we ended up in Lansing, was where my buddy owns a farm, and he has a dispensary.
Oh, right on. And you were part of the grow?
Mostly part of the distribution, and just kind of had the knowledge on the grow space and how to grow. So I kind of just educated people on how to grow it.
Oh, right on. Mm-hmm. So you would kind of consult.
Yep,
in
100%.
in an instance, and is that mostly indoor grow, or what's your specialty?
Indoor growing mostly. So outdoor grows are that's something that's So outdoor growing, in my opinion, and a lot of this is due to a lot of Colorado knowledge and stuff that's come out of there. Outdoor growing turns out to be, in my opinion, some of the better stuff, even though indoor growing can be very lucrative, but and high in THC. But turns out, I believe outdoor growing and the sun, you can never beat that. When you can never beat the sun and the amount of nutrients and the amount of just nutrients that the sun gives to the plant. You just won't beat it. You cannot beat it. And that's just from a smoker, from someone who uses it, who grows it, who has just seen it over the years, over 25 years. And that's just, marketing will tell you indoor. The test bunny's going to tell you it's outdoor. So you make your, you take it for what it's worth. But mostly in the growing, actually, mostly growing and distributing, or teaching, consulting, as you put it. Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with outdoor. We'd call them burley buds.
Yeah, they're plusher, they smell better, they taste better, and it hits different.
It does. And well, all those leaves are useful. They all have trichomes on them. They all got something to offer, some terpene effect, and what you can't beat nature.
That I stand by that. I was someone who was all about the lighting. You know, when you're young, you're all about the technology, the lighting, you're sold on it. But after so many years of comparing, the truth will set you free. So it's just like when you put them together, it's like, well, hold on. The natural stuff, when done properly, comes out way better. The sun is just hard to duplicate. It just really is. So I'm definitely for outdoor growing when it comes to mass production or even smaller production, depending if you like higher end stuff, you know, exotics or whatnot, or just your mid-grade. It just outdoor tends to be a little better for me.
And I think like if you had like the perfect grow, you'd have all of them.
Yep.
Right? You'd have your sun-grown organic outdoor for like biomass.
Yep.
Right? And I know, I mean, it's not ideal for smokable because it doesn't have the shelf appeal. Is the thing. I feel like people are getting trained on something that they shouldn't be. We gotta like relearn what is desirable into the plant.
Being big time, that's a great way to put that, Ash. I would say the same. I would say there are certain strains, and depending on how you grow them. See, for biomass, you put them way too close together. You grow them like corn. You grow them at 6 inches, 8 inches apart. So therefore, no light can get in between the stalks, and you only hit the light on top, so that's all they want. It's just the heads. But when you look at outdoor grow that's a more quality, where they space them 6 or 7 feet apart, and they have these huge bushes where they trim them and they spread them out and people take care of them, that's actually your best plant. Now, there are certain things that I would agree with you that you have to have both. Exotics, certain strains like the Godfather OG, certain ones do better indoors or equivalency. They definitely look better when you grow them indoors. But when you space them out outdoors, they also can look the same. So a lot of it has to do with spacing and nutrients and the care of the plant throughout the life of the plant. So
yes.
Before harvest, yes.
That's what we did at DNA Hemp. We swore by it. Because I feel like hemp doesn't have the return on investment as you would want. And at least in my opinion and my experience.
I would agree.
And my knowledge of like getting boots on the ground trying to sell the stuff, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I wasn't getting what you were getting for THC, your pound of THC compared to my pound of hemp.
Most definitely not.
And it's the same cost, right?
To grow, for sure.
To grow.
For sure, it's the same cost. It costs the same nutrients. It's the same process. So therefore, it's the same, for sure. Obviously, the THC is worth more than everything in the CBDs and all the THCAs, THC this, THC that. Ugh. So a lot of that is just, we have to always remember, a lot of that is a byproduct of a hemp bill and the fact that THC was illegal. So people wanting to circumvent laws and still continue to, find uses for the hemp that it does have. They are there, the medical stuff, but a lot of that is a byproduct. So there are, in my opinion, there's pros and cons to the canceling of the hemp stuff and the hemp bills. The pros are that we can focus on just growing regular stuff and not all this Frankenstein weed, because that's what I call it. The THCAs and all that stuff is like a Frankenstein of sorts. And while I'm sure there's going to be some added benefits and some benefits to it in the future pharmaceutically, I don't see, in my opinion, no benefit of growing something that you have stressed ridiculously to create, to take out the THC in it to meet a man-made bill. It's like you're what you're doing is competing against someone's political and financial dreams and trying to get behind that. You can't do this, so then the plant suffers because we go back and try to figure out scientifically. Over time, what we have are Frankensteins. We're not really sure what we're doing here. So on one sense, I love what our current president is doing on this particular thing. When it comes to decriminalizing pot, marijuana, and decriminalizing in general, and then taking that out because we don't need that. Remember, that's a byproduct of the fact that it was super criminalized. The byproduct of the fact that the USDA, all these folks who know it has health benefits are trying to legally figure out how to have it so we can have it. And I think going forward, we're going to have a more natural state of things. What we should be focused on is not the pot smokable part, it's what it's going to do to the hemp part as a material. Because that is, it's not really a hippy dippy thing. It was something that was used a long time ago, and it was normal. It was a byproduct. What it was that it was taken out is because industries, paper, lumber, you need a lot of money and contracts to start that up. So could you imagine if you could grow lumber and paper like you do corn? Well, geez, Wall Street doesn't like that, do they? Like, no. How do they have? So they took the farmer away out of that industry. And that's really all they wanted to do. They can't control it. It's easy to process for the most part, and it can't be controlled by Wall Street easily. And that's really the only reason we don't have it. Those are really the only reasons it doesn't exist. It has to work for them before we can have it down here, I guess, with their mentality. So that's why I try to bring as much knowledge and as much to people so they understand it's an us against them for some reason. I'm not sure why they set it up that way, but it's something that we need to keep in our never forget that it's actually something that it was taken from our societies that bring prices down on fuel, brings prices down on home building, it brings prices down on everything, and it brings money at these levels of the community for the working class people and above, for the farmer and everyone else. So it's something that was taken out of communities. What we need to focus on as people, if there's anyone watching, it's going to be processing. That should be what you take out of it. We need to focus on being able to process this material and bring it to a saleable material, piece that we can sell, whether it's for building blocks, insulation, medicinal, or for lumber, because it's a concrete of sort, can be used as a fiber for concrete. So it has its place. This whole building, this foundation is all concrete. Technically, if you were to use a hempcrete, it would be stronger. But why can't we use it? Because it's too expensive, it's not subsidized, and that's something that has an industry. The industry itself for processing was taken out over 120 years ago. So it's not that it didn't exist. It was taken out so concrete and lumber can win. So we need to fight.
You gotta fight for your right to grow your own supplies and medicine and anything else that can help you with, you name it, hemp does it.
That's right. It really does.
Danny, it doesn't have to be that way, man. It doesn't have to be the us and the them.
It does not. It just feels that way because we cannot get the proper legal help, and it seems like the only way you can is if you incorporate them in it. So therefore...
Well, that's why I like sitting next to you.
And them being Wall Street, and that type, bankers and politicians. Somehow they have to hit those hands before we can have something. So it feels that way.
It does feel that way. Mm-hmm. But that's why I like sitting next to you, Danny boy, because you're a dreamer.
I really am. I see all of us. I do see what you said. I see it doesn't have to be us and them. It can be us together. Everyone enjoying it, figuring it out together, and enjoying the benefits of it. It's something that from the top to the bottom, to the left to the right, it's something that we all thrive on. And it's something that it's almost spiritual. It just exists, you don't know it, and it makes our lives better. You know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For real, it's like a vibration.
It really is.
Really, of like community and collaboration and the collective to raise the level of the quality of life for people. I find it interesting sitting next to you, being a builder of sorts as well, working with materials and building things and working with your hands. I mean, how did we make it acceptable to live in plastic bubbles?
Marketing, time.
Is that fueled by corporate greed as well? Or just the not know how you can't know what you don't know? Or what is it?
Yeah, and all of it, but it's not corporate greed. It's not one thing or another. That's for sure. You can't just blame anyone. We have to also take responsibility for ourselves. We also like things easy as a people. So anytime a machine or technology, in this case AI in our time, at any period you choose, something else comes in, it technically makes a job easier. We forget that, therefore we become dumber, and then over time we become more profitable. But it's hard to explain. You lose anytime technology comes in. You lose something in exchange for it. So just like now, we have AI, to give you an example. What are we going to lose going forward? Tellers, communication. We're going to lose basically many people who are writers, anything that assistants, all that's going to be replaced over the next 10 years. Those folks go to college have MBAs at one point to do this stuff for the past 100 years. Now, a self-taught machine can do it better than them. So they'll all be farmers too, I guess, if they're smart going forward here, or builders, because those are the last things for technology, to kind of take over on. And in essence, if you think far enough, if you dream far enough, if you see far enough, that might be a good thing, because it'll force us all back on the farms and to actually take care of ourselves while we have the rest on autopilot. So that would be nice, if that was to, happen. But it takes a lot to get from that from this to there. The will, actually, in my opinion, is what's needed. So.
More self-sustaining is what the vision is. Mm-hmm. I feel like we put so much control into the hands of others to feed ourselves, to clothe ourselves, to even raise our families.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
I was just thinking about that, people are starting to homeschool a lot. And it's just kind of crazy that as a society, and I love the school district, and I love all that, and I don't want to get too far into it with you, because I know, but I mean, other people are raising our kids, that's okay.
The phones are raising our kids too.
Ooh.
And I don't have children, but I will say that I can see it every day. And you see it, that's how you get disconnected from your own kids. That's why you argue that's why they argue at tables a lot of times. You have difference in opinions, because it's not your opinions that they're speaking. They're speaking either someone from overseas' opinions or someone else's interests, and it's in your own home. So, yeah. So basically,
that's kind of...
It's deep.
It is deep.
And it's actually a spiritual war, and we can't do it. It's hard to see because...
Ooh.
It's hard to see because it's not guns and bullets. So we're also susceptible to it. It takes a lot of discipline it will take a lot of discipline for us and parents and whatnot, and to train our kids a little different. We're gonna have, because it's on us. Either that, someone's gonna train them. If you don't have a plan for them and you don't use God's plan, then therefore someone's gonna plan for them. So, and that's just how and that goes for us and for me and for any one of us. So if whatever you look at too much, whatever you eat too much, whatever you hear too much, that's what you will be. So, that applies to all of us.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. You really are.
Or consuming.
We are super consumers.
Is a good way to put it, because we're, you think of consuming or what you eat, obviously food, but when you put it in terms of consuming, that's just everything from what you put on your body, in your body, around your body. Everybody,
yes,
is a consumer, and that's the mindset that we're in nowadays.
And really, that affects our quality of life and our standard of living. So we have focused, in my opinion, I'm not innocent, and a lot of us focus, including me at one point, on the quality of our lives, on the standard of our living. And what happens with that is you will have a crappy standard of living when you focus on a quality of life when you focus on the standard. But if you focus on the quality of your life and the people you keep around you and kind of just stay there, that's a little slower to build, but the standard of living always goes up. So you don't have to too much focus on the standard of living. You just have to focus on the quality of your life. If you do it the other way, you'll be a slave to brands and the way things look. So, it's the best way to put that. It's real simple. It's a principle, and you just have to kind of focus on the quality of your life, and your whole life is okay. Will be okay. It naturally will roll out. And it's in everything. It's going to be in the hemp. It's going to be in the flowers that are in the greenhouse. It's going to be in all the stuff you do out there at DNA Hemp, and that's what's beautiful about what you do. You are all about that, the quality of what you guys do out there, that's what's beautiful. And that's what brings your standard, slowly keeps it up. And that's it's awesome to see you guys do that.
Yes. And be consistent with it. I feel like the perseverance is really at the heart of it all. Yep. And that's why I just get so fired up about hemp. And I'm sorry, I can't. Ever since I've become more attuned to this lifestyle, I just can't. It's what I eat, sleep, breathe. It's just who I am. It's in my fiber. It is in my tapestry. It's ingrained. And don't want to go down the rabbit hole of anger and frustration and disparity of the injustices that have been and what is being done in the cannabis space. But that's why I get really excited sitting down with people like you, because what's it going to take, Danny? What is it going to take?
I love that you brought it back to that, because the reality is Wisconsin's a great state because it's not legal yet to have this conversation. I would love it to be legal, but how would it roll out? If it's a more leftist situation, they're going to want corporations to come in and do it because they have access to that money. And it's concentrated in 3 or 4 or 5 different corporations. It's easier for leftist people to attach money. So that's not a reason. I mean, corporations should not be funding our political parties, left or right. But it turns out in 2026, that is, who's funding that party? It should be the farmers and the people who do it themselves. It's not that, most of the growers in the 90s, we lost, they came back, but most of California's growers when this started in the 90s are from Wisconsin. Just so we're clear, go do it. Go do your math. Go Google it. They're from Wisconsin in the Midwest, the growers. And we kind of lost that momentum by not doubling down on it at any given time at all, still to this day. And we still have the tenacity. We still have the fervor. We still have the want. We still have, and the need is always going to be there. Mm-hmm. It was there before, it's there now, and it will be there in the future. It's a natural thing, can't get rid of it. So the very nature that we have to discuss and ask a leftist party on how we're going to do this, you know what I mean, is insane. And the only reason it's not like that is because the right doesn't want to do that, and as well as they should. Why would we give our industry and our money out of state? That makes no sense. And there you go. That's the stalemate. It's not necessarily, that's what's in behind the doors. It's who's going to grow it and how is it going to be rolled out. Not to mention the social impacts that we have, because we are kind of very Christian or somewhat conservative of a country, of a state, which is, it's awesome, because that's why if we weren't that way, it would already rolled out, we'd be fooled. So, it's that. And in my opinion, it needs to be in levels. We need to be more like Michigan. We need to have a place where the farmers are heavily involved in it, because you don't want to take that money out of our state. Okay, you want to be able to use our dirt, our earth. We have the greatest. We are the heartland. We are the greatest in the nation. It is what it is. Location. So Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, we're the best in the nation. We are the heartland. Why you don't want to grow here? That's because you're not a farmer. You don't understand dirt. And you only understand money. So the fact that you only want to grow somewhere else is because you want to get paid. And that's usually people who need to fund political parties. Mm-hmm. And in our state, the centrist parties and center-rightist parties have their own money. They're very well funded because there's truth in what they say. And the people aren't dumb enough to buy the left stuff as much. So I'm not super politically inclined. That's just the pot sphere of that. The pot sphere of that is, or the pot and marijuana game is that. And that sucks for the rest of us, the consumers, even those who don't consume. Because let's say you're not a pot smoker or a hemp user or anything. Your average person in Wisconsin drinks beer. They're not really super pot smoking. So how does that even affect them? It really does. Like I told you, it affects their building prices, their gas prices, their heat prices. It affects all of that. You throw it's competition. Competition's always good. Competition brings prices down. And that's what you want. You don't want people to get comfortable and just keep charging you. Hell no, you throw a wrench in their gears. Now they have to compete for a buck. That's on you. That's not my job. I'm the buyer. So you want that in this space. And then legally taken out is just kind of creating less competition and therefore raising our prices. You have to correlate the economics of the things. You want it in the market and let us work with it, because at least the CEOs of all those companies, that concrete companies or fiberglass companies who put insulation in walls, those people, which all bring our prices down, now have to give us the existing same product, same quality, same stuff at a cheaper rate and figure it out. So if they had humans doing it before in order to compete, if we had hemp, now they have to bring in machines to bring the prices down. That's on them. That's not our job. And it's not our job to take certain things out of the market so they can keep charging us more money. I'm just not sure who would agree with that. But I just feel that hemp, that's why you feel it in your core. But because It doesn't, in my opinion, that's why you feel in your core. It's just something that it's spiritual. It's going to naturally put things to restore a little bit more balance in markets, restore balance in our lives, and kind of bring things to a more manageable economic pace. Hemp.
I have no doubt that everything is going according to plan, and it is not our plan, it is God's plan here. And you know what? When I got out of the balance and restoring balance, you know, in the fiscal arena, isn't that? Don't you think it's kind of funny that that's what the plant hemp does internally, not only externally but internally, restoring balance for the thing. Tell me this isn't already written and it's already going according to plan. But I just, you know, I think that if we're talking spiritual and we want to dabble in the God or in the Jesus arena, that's another thing. I could talk about him all day, every day. That's how we're being called to live here, Danny Boy. And I love that we're like vibing on that level because he gives people certain gifts and opportunities and resources. And I feel like you and I are sitting here in a pretty good position to make some ideal change here in Wisconsin. And if we could get a couple like-minded individuals, like my Danny Boy, who's like the workhorse of the operation, and your farmer connections here locally in the Washington County, I mean, we could have our own processing facility right here.
And that's key. You hit the nail right on the head, Ashley. So what we do have just sitting in this beautiful car is we have her husband, Danny, the workhorse, the mind behind a lot of the work behind DNA, a lot of the, you know, the engine there, man. The guy is hard working. He puts them seeds in the ground and that stuff comes up.
It ain't gonna grow itself.
That's right. And then with that knowledge, and then with the farmers that we have around here, with a small bit of education, it wouldn't be that hard to produce. But what the problem, it wouldn't. We have the workforce here in America, in this state. We don't even have to go anywhere. What we do need are people to invest in the end result. Once we create it, we don't want to send it anywhere else. We need somewhere in this county, actually best. It'd be best to be done here because we're closer to Chicago, closer to the lake to get the stuff out. But we need to process it. We need to get it to a material form, whether it's a fibrous form, a first stage of the form where it becomes saleable. And that until we invest in processing this and manufacturing certain products, we cannot go head first into producing the hemp. Because there's just no reason to...
Nowhere to go with
There's
that.
nowhere to go with
We've been there, done that.
So the only thing you can do is like I've done, create nail boards, have fun, smash the stuff, and have some hippy-dippy time trying to teach and educate how it actually works.
In the Stone Age.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, so...
I've been to the UW-Madison Extension Program where they have hemp field day, and they're over there telling, like, using the boards.
I saw that.
I'm like, come on, but... Back the train up. I'm looking at that old. What is that over there?
This one?
Yes.
That's a Model T. That one's.
They built the Model T and fueled it with hemp 100 years ago.
They had different kerosene, but they also had different blends of fuel. Yes, they had like diesels that they made for a while there.
Well, that hemp works best in the diesel.
Yeah, hemp works best in diesel.
In diesel.
Hemp oils. Yeah.
Hemp oils from the seed.
Yeah.
Growing it for seed.
Yeah.
And something, I was kind of doing a little research because, honestly, fuel, it just seems to make sense. Right now we're in an oil crisis, right? We're paying at the pump. Drill, baby, drill.
Yes,
you know?
drill, baby, drill. We have to for our future.
And the expense of what? And then I think of the natives, right? The indigenous people. And how they're yet again being robbed of their resources, right? It's still happening here right now. Okay, tell me what?
I look at it different.
All right, let's see.
I am very American that way, even though I was born in Puerto Rico, an American of Puerto Rican descent. That's how I look at it.
Puerto Rican American.
And, yeah.
Or is that...
American of Puerto Rican descent. That just, it doesn't have to be anything more or anything less. It's not that serious. So, moving forward from that, this land, after so long, here, you know how Japan, we blew them up. You know Japan actually invaded us in Alaska? We're great friends now. How can that be? So, I think this land belongs to Native American people the Europeans that came in and the black people that kind of came with them. So this is our land. There's no need to redivide it and go back. We've been fighting so long. That's not even the fight no more. I mean, they have a fireside. The people are in business. Native Americans these days are businessmen. They have reservations. I'm not saying that there's not more business that can be done. I'm not saying that there's not lands that can be given back. But that's our authenticity there. Those are the folks that were here. We did business, we fought, we thrived, we drank, we made babies. There's plenty of us, it is what it is. There's no reason to revisit a lot of that. There's just reason to include them in it going forward.
Include them is where I'm going.
Yeah, because
it was where
no one's going to want to go back to that.
No.
Living outside. No. So, no. But to think that Native people aren't having money and thriving from what has happened, you'd be a fool. They'd probably tell you, no, it's all good, but it's about including, and it's about moving forward. It's never about going back. This belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to a lot of the people that have come maybe in the last 20, 30 years, but because they didn't come with intentions to make it better, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, and it does belong to us. So moving forward, if we have to drill, we drill. It's a sacrifice we make for all of ourselves, not just for one or the other. But back to the diesel and the seeds, the problem with using seeds for fuel or using the plant for everything, we learned sugar. Sugar can be used as fuel. But what we learned about sugar is we have a fuel addiction. And what happens when you start using sugar for fuel, well, you don't have sugar for anything else. Because then when you go make a cake, you're going to buy a muffin for like $13, $15, $20 muffin. It's insane. So we have to always factor in those things. When you take from one and give to the when you take from this to give to the other, one thing is going to suffer. So I don't think initially fuel is something we should touch. We've done so much war and so much stuff in the last 6 months that we kind of have our fuel situation set up. We just have to now set up the refineries and the connections. So we have fuel. America has fuel. We have Venezuela. We had Japan just designed whole new deals with not Saudi Arabia, UAE. So now they have the fuel. They're not even using the Strait of Hormuz. The reason our stuff is high because they're going through the Panama Canal now. So they've set themselves up. We've set ourselves up. So now we just have to weather this storm. So we're not dependent. Don't ever forget why we're in this. Don't be mad we're in this. We are dependent. You can't be mad that you're paying. I mean, geez. How can you look at the war and then be mad you're paying an extra buck for gas for a while? Would you rather have the war here and they pay the extra buck? Well, geez, think about what you're actually saying. So it is what it is. We don't want to be dependent on that. And we have, through business and through life and, in my opinion, Christian goodness, trying to globalize that way, we put ourselves in jams as a nation. And now we have to get ourselves out of it. So I don't think that hemp as a fuel thing is the first thing we should use. I think it should be a building resource because that's going to increase our quality of life. Because what we all should want as human beings, rich, poor, is a house, some land, and be part of the community. In order to do that, you got to own your own house. So we have to make the affordable, a house affordable. The only way to do it is not through programs and stuff. Geez, it's going to be, that's one way. It should be to make it affordable naturally. That's it, because the reason it's not affordable, it's unnatural. It's because too many people have purchased homes that have big wallets and therefore have disenfranchised people who don't have big wallets. That's it. That's all the reason home prices are high. All the wealthy corporations, real estate companies have purchased, they went on a buying spree in this country and they bought everything out there, which made the middle class that was coming in have to pay that much more for the homes. It benefits them, makes them more money. And the only way to fight that naturally would be to bring in a product that brings the prices down. Our current president is signing a bill to bring the prices down by disenfranchising large corporations that are worth more than $100 million, which you have never seen anything like that. I don't know how he's even a Republican. This guy's a 1990s Democrat. Everyone should be happy. You know what I mean? What he's doing in general. Because he is nationalizing, and it's awesome. It works in our favor. If you're a U.S. citizen, it works in your favor, rich, poor, left or right. People just don't understand it and don't know how it applies to them. They're scared of it, to be honest. But it does. It really does. It really works for the U.S. citizen. And yeah, that's kind of my take on oil, fuel, and the hemp. It's all economically connected. But I think as farmers and as processors or future processors possibly, we should focus on building materials, because I can see the correlation between getting that to market and instantly seeing prices level off for us, and it happens the quickest that way.
I'd agree. Or what about even paper products?
Yeah, that would fall line. Paper products, straws, coffee, anything that would replace, yes, all of those things would be in the processing part. Just fuel is different, because you throw that on there, and boy, do we just not have enough hemp. And all the rest of that goes away. The ability to have building practice, just so we can drive our cars, let's burn the oil for a little bit longer. We have cleaner oil now, by the way. That's why we don't need catalytic converters. That's why they're taking that stuff off cars coming forward here building. Because the oil that we do create has a bunch of different new detergents and stuff in it that don't produce the carbon that oils did a long time ago. So for a temporary, in my opinion, we don't need it for fuel yet. It'll be something in the future once we have an industry, once we can afford to actually do it. It consumes a lot. It will, if you ever wrote a bill and allowed it for fuel, that's all people would grow it for. All the rest would lack. You wouldn't be able to produce the paper, you wouldn't be able to produce the cups, the napkins, the building materials would still go up then, because hemp would be that much more expensive then, because fuel would come first. The demand for fuel is insane.
It's unrelenting.
And it doesn't stop. It will not stop. Yeah. The only thing that could curb that maybe would be the need for electric vehicles, or the use of electric vehicles. But I don't see that in this country being that big yet, nationally.
Did you see the electric airplane?
I have, actually.
On the news just the other day. It was kind of like the Jetsons stuff, and they want to do like a taxi with it.
Yeah. And I think they're doing it in the Arab state somewhere out there. Was that Saudi Arabia or something? They're like, they have a taxi. They have a taxi where it's AI,
quiet.
Yeah, it's very
like,
quiet.
You don't even know.
It's like a VTOL. It's a vertical takeoff and landing. It goes this way. Yeah, that's awesome. That is all. I can't wait for that.
I was happy to see that. My eyes were wide on that. I was like, wow. Like, who did that? And it looked like one of the Jetsons mobiles.
It's bubbled up in the middle. Yes.
Come on. When Jetsons first came out, like, that was so futuristic. But now we're here.
Yeah,
we are here. Yeah, we are the Jetsons. Oh my gosh. But we're reducing our carbon footprint. And I think that would really be making everybody happy, co-creating with the universe, per se. You know, our land, your land, everybody's land. It's all in our best interest to reduce our carbon footprint so we can be more sustainable.
100%. And that would do that. That would instantly do that.
While increasing the quality of life.
Big time. And the quality of life, it just naturally increases your quality of life, and your standard of living goes right along with it. So it's just something that it's all connected. So it goes in order though. It goes quality first, standard naturally. You focus on one, that happens. If you go the other way, you become a slave to your standard. So, because you're always just on the grind. You know? So it's all connected. It really is. The hemp is a beautiful thing. A lot of people get turned off by it because of all the propaganda from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, and then you have the people representing it, which are us young guys, you know, they think we're hippies, but the reality is it's not that. It's that we have an understanding of this plant, and we kind of correlate it to our economic lives, to our lives. You know, we know where it fits in our lives and how that affects our wallet at the end of the day. It's all about the wallet. You know, it's not, not all about the wallet, but the wallet, when you think about it, right, is also connected to the carbon footprint. It's all about where you spend your money. The money itself is not evil, it's who's behind the money. A gun is not evil, it's who's behind the gun.
Ooh.
So you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all connected.
Deep.
Yeah, and it's all connected that way. For sure.
I agree. Mm-hmm. It is all connected. So how do we raise the vibration? How do we...
We need awareness. We need some very, very We don't need optimistic people. We need people who care. We need people who care about reducing the carbon footprint. We need a wallet of people who want to invest in processing this stuff and getting it out to market in order to see the carbon footprint be reduced, in order to see our quality of life be increased, and subsequently the standard of living right along with it. Someone who's invested emotionally at an American level, who wants to see American people thrive at all levels, from the working class on up. You know what I mean? That will help everyone. Up, north, south, left, right, doesn't matter who you are. It's one of those things that you have to have in the market, and only economists will understand the impact it has, but it's great for everyone involved. Except if you love contractual lumber contracts, which is going to be only those who own those contracts, unless you love contractual building material contracts, and those are going to be only the people who own those contracts, and they're backed up by laws. So they're propped up by laws. It makes it very difficult for nature to happen. It makes it very difficult. It's actually unnatural. So that's what you're up against. But it's even though that you're up against that, because of what it is, all it takes is a group of people to invest in it properly, and that's really all it does. So you would have to not only have the materials, maybe have a developer who wants to produce a subdivision somewhere, and we use nothing but hemp materials to produce those subdivisions. That's how you create a catalyst.
Ooh.
And get it going. That would be the catalyst. So that would be the next level, or the next step. So let's say we do get it to processing these materials, and we do start pumping out these materials. Well, we need a buyer. So then you would need to work with a developer and say, hey, you guys, at the same time, we're actually going to create these homes and these subdivision that's going to be created in this manner, and we're going to sell them, therefore have a sale for it that creates the need for it, and then it gets going. So that would be ideal there.
That's a lot of work and a lot of effort, but it's also a lot of opportunity.
It is a lot of effort, a lot of opportunity. It's something that has to happen. It's just something that has to happen, and it's not done any other way. It's actually not that much work. All the work's been done. We just have to put all the pieces together.
Yes.
Yep, the work has been done. The knowledge is here. It's actually not that work. With AI and with just all the technology that we have today, it's not that much work. It's just a lot of putting things together and structuring and organizing, putting together the workforce, and the labor itself is not that hard with the machines that we have today. It's not like it was before. So with combining, with processing, with AI would be a huge essential in picking and in grading this stuff. It can do that. It's actually a great time to do it. It's just someone has to put it together, and it needs the financing, it needs the funding. So we need some risk takers. We need some investors and people like that are willing, that want to see this happen, and then it will happen. It's not a matter of whether it can or if it's profitable. Oh, it is. It's whether or not we can get the right group of people to make it happen.
A short-term risk for a long-term investment.
That's right.
So here's the call. Right? Like, people that want to make meaningful change. Mm-hmm. We can come together and make it happen. I truly believe it's possible. I feel like it's already written.
I think it's written. I've seen it. And there are countries who are doing it on a smaller scale. They just don't get, they just won't get the attention that they deserve, because it's not something, like I said in the beginning, it's not something that Wall Street or politicians get paid. It's just like the reason we don't have pot at the local level is because our left, and this particular state happens to be the left, is the one that would benefit from a corporate situation, and they know that they don't have their hooks on the people in here, especially the farmers. So they don't want to. That's insane if you think about it. That they don't want to write a law that benefits the people of this state because they're not getting paid. I think we should riot. Jeez, but I'm just playing. Like, you people should be pissed that that's a real thing. Like, that's un-American. That is extremely it's almost got to be illegal. But it's how it works, I guess. So I think we, if there's anyone out there who'd like to continue this conversation and or anyone that would like to get going here, reach out to Ashley, reach out to us, and we would love to sit down with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just going to take some forward thinking and some good old collaboration and making it happen. And I think the juice is worth the squeeze.
That's... I agree. The juice is worth the squeeze. I need that one. That's good.
Squeeze the juice.
Yeah, squeeze the juice. Churn the butter.
Wow. With that hat on, Danny, tell me about this hat.
I found this hat. And this hat goes with this here.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta.
Here, I gotta show you this.
If I could zoom in on that thing, I
I'll
would.
take it off. It's cool. So this is it goes with our later hosen. It belonged to my mentor. This one, it's I'm not sure what it is, but it's like a German fedora of sorts. And
this has a name. I don't know what it is, but it is.
It says right here. It's all in German. Grundenfest. Oh.
Yeah, that seems like
Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Wow, this is cool.
1972.
Mm-hmm.
They probably gave those pins out for now for music festivals, you get a pin.
Yep.
And that's what that was.
So I know where this hat's from. The reason I chose it is because he had one of those bikes that had a really front big wheel and a small one, and he had and he was riding that with this, wearing this.
That's amazing.
Which was his great grandfather's. So this is cool for those who know what this is. These are Deutschmarks from Germany, and this is a belt that belonged to an apron that they would wear when they were either smithing or this was just during their club meetings, really, is what they wore this for. But I thought this was very interesting.
That's amazing. That is a piece.
This is a piece. It's leather, and it's actually the inside is made from sheep's. It's called vellum, which used to be made. They used to make paper from it, but vellum is the sheep's lining of their stomach, I believe. So the inside is vellum, the outside is leather.
Wow.
Yep. Nice piece, beautiful piece. Has 2 axes, and it has a saying on it, which I'm not gonna read it because I don't. But you guys can figure it out.
That's mystery. Go and unravel it.
Yes, go and look it up. Google it. It'll tell you on Google.
I'm going to have to do that. I got some homework.
You do.
Now to do it. Because history is so fascinating. I didn't realize you were such a history buff.
I deal in it for the most part. I love history. I love history. History will set you free. You can never get mad at history. You always have to just understand it. And when you understand history, it sets you free. Identify a little bit with it. You, in my opinion, with the good things, and your life should be better. This period is awesome. So this coat, awesome that she's wearing, and that hat that we found inside. So this coat's from the 20s, and all the hats that we have around here are all from like the suffragist times and from the 20s, from the girls that, what do you call those girls? The
flappers.
Flappers, yeah, with the flappers. Yep. So that's what all this was, and this is all original stuff from this farm. And so this farm was established in 1837. Wow. So it was before Wisconsin was a state. And they had 2 generations. By this 3rd generation, they were doing very well. And that's what this is. So this was their heyday in the 20s and the early 1900s. That's why I have all these hats and all that. This is their actual clothes. Yeah.
They were crushing it farming.
They were crushing it. But by then, they were leasing. Yeah, they were actually still farming, but they had dairy cattle. Yeah, they had milk here. They were dairy. They had a lot of beef cattle for a while, but by the 20s they had all dairy set up. So, yeah, they were crushing it big time.
This is their Sunday best.
Yes,
right?
it is their Sunday's
I could just
best.
see. What was the lady's name? Do you know?
Eva Schutz. Yeah.
Eva Schutz's coat. What an honor to wear it. Thank you for busting out these pieces out of your antique closet and sharing them with us. It's really special to be sitting even in this antique vehicle and wearing these clothes and talking about future.
Let's go.
It's kind of surreal when you think about it. It's kind of like, wow, we're doing this thing right here, right now. And I can't say I look forward to the future and what God's got in store for us.
Amen.
Amen.
I mean, we got this far, Individually, I'm sure 10 years ago, you couldn't have seen yourself with your farm and all the things you had, I'm sure.
No.
So it's hard to, and tell me about it. So there's no way where we'll be 10 years from now. We're hoping that we see our dreams that we're talking about today. That's all we can do, and keep fighting for them, really.
Yes. Not to correct you or anything, but not fight for them. Flow with them.
Flow with them.
Flow with it, like in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like we are in this very place, in this very moment together for a reason. And maybe it's for someone even viewing this to kind of spark something. As a matter of fact, Danny, as God is warranted in us time and time again, this has nothing to do with us, as a matter, right?
Not at all. We're just part of His plan.
Just
really.
Conduits for His glory and His goodness. And I do feel like Hemp's revival is a big piece in that. Sure. And I think getting people, even sparking some kind of curiosity to think of hemp outside of the box of just medicine or devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce.
Right? Like if we could have convinced somebody here today that maybe there is more to this plant than just the devil's lettuce. Not just for medicine, but industrially, commercially, agriculturally.
The thing about hemp is you wouldn't be creating any devil's lettuce if you were growing hemp. You'd be growing the male plant. It's a larger stock.
Try to tell the people at the farmer's market that.
Yeah, but so for those who don't know, I'm sure if we were growing hemp for other purposes, like for building materials, paper, and et cetera and whatnot, you wouldn't be growing the female plant, which produces the buds in devil's lettuce. You'd be growing the male plant, which produces none of that. Yeah, see, it's always the females, boy. So we wouldn't be growing Lilith. We'd be growing the male plant, which it's a larger plant, produces more stock, and it's a woody plant, which is not too many woody plants in the world. Usually they're slimy on the inside. It's not wood. So the bamboo is one of them, but hemp is another one. And you'd be growing that. So there is no such thing as getting high off of hemp there's zero getting high off of hemp. Mm-mm. When you're using it for building purposes and to supplement building materials and other materials, paper, tires, whatever. It's not for getting high. It is literally for building materials. It's for the wood in it. That's all it's for.
But even right now, growing for hemp for medicine is not about the high. And that's what I'm kind of like,
well, that's true. That's true.
It's not. It never has been. It never will be. That's just not what hemp is until man messed it up and all this propaganda and bologna about the THCA and the delta 8s and 9s. And that's man's doing. That ain't nature. That has nothing to do with God. That's us and our own egos trying to take control and milk the system and find that loophole. How do you feel about the hemp ban going on? I wanted to kind of get your little insight on that.
Yeah, I touched on it, but I like it and hate it. Obviously, we were both in the hemp business. I barely broke even after so many years, and so I took it down. I took my website down back in January. I sold the products to people in Hartford for a loss, and I moved on with life because I do agree with what you just said. It's all our egos and man and all that. We're circumventing these laws that are written by our overlords. And we're like, no, you can't do that. Watch us do this. That's all that is. It's a communication. It's them writing to disenfranchise, us re-enfranchising. So it's not us growing something. The energy isn't us growing something that we need. The energy is not growing something that we like. The energy is not growing stuff that you want to see in the world. Not at all. The energy is 100% focused on a piece of paper and a bill that tells us we can't do this, then F you, we're going to go this way. And that's all that is. How can that be good for us? It's not. So that's why I like the hemp ban, because it seems more natural for our president to decriminalize. Obviously, it should be legal, but because of the way of the nature of our rules and whatnot, the best thing you can do, obviously he's trying, is to decriminalize federally. States, decent states, including ours, have decriminalized. Thank you. And that's your first step, I guess. Because the reality, it should just be legal. Period. Our world has to regulate everything because we're super consumers. And if we just allow it, they go free willy-nilly, it won't be well. So we have to have some rules. So the goal should be Michigan is a great cookie cutter. And the reason they were able to do it is because they were so broke. There's always have to be a need. At one point, don't forget, they were the brokest state in the nation after 2008. So they kind of looked the other way around and allowed them to make their money to tax weed, marijuana. So when that happens, the state is the one in charge and has to do it for the best what's in the interest of the state. And when you look at it from that point of view, from that geometry, then you include your farmers, so you can tax them. You include the sales boutique people, so you can tax them. And you include the processors, so you can tax them. And by nature, you keep it here. When you bring outsiders in, like our part of our political people want to bring on the left, what happens is they pay less taxes, we're disenfranchised, and the money that they do spend isn't in our state, it's on their political agendas. So, how is that on our best interest? And most people can't even process what I just said. Sometimes you gotta have faith. You just gotta have faith in your farmer, have faith in that's just always okay. It's always good. I mean, whoever's the one doing the work should get the benefit. Period.
Amen.
So, we're not slaves, even though that's what they want us to, work for them. And it angers me. It angers me that it works that way.
Ooh, we don't want to see angry Danny.
No, I'm not that way. It just angers because most people don't understand it, and they don't understand it. They just want to be able to go to the store and smoke some weed, which we get, but it's bigger than that. It's kind of bigger than that. So if you do want some weed, get it from Michigan. Support them.
But if you just want to improve your quality of life and feel better and have a natural alternative, support DNAHempLLC.com.
Let's go.
Okay? Let's rock and roll. And we'll meet you at Cheryl's Club because she's got all the goods right there. Right, Danny boy?
That's right.
What is your favorite thing about Cheryl's Club?
Closing her. No, I'm just playing.
She's like, I closed Cheryl's Club. Like,
that should be your next t-shirt.
I can't steal it from Walski's. They own that.
That was a good one. I would have to say my favorite is got to be your tacos, man. Oh, your wings. You have the best wings around. You do have the best wings around.
Those wings
are good. They're great sides. They're bigger than anyone's around here. And, they are good. The wings and their tacos. They're the taco al pastor. They do it well back in there.
And I like just a good burger from there.
Oh,
I feel like it's simple, right?
That's my favorite burger. It's gonna be your classic burger. But yeah, you got some freaky burgers in there that are really good. You just had that bacon burger the other day for Saturday. I had that. That was really good. It had caramelized onions. What else was on there? Avocado slice, I believe, or something like that.
Like a Cali.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, they get freaky with the burgers. If you like that, come on over.
Get freaky. Yeah. Cheryl's Club, you get freaky all the time. Club life, party on. Oh my gosh, well that's how we met, was at Cheryl's Club.
Yes.
And we've had some fun tales, but that's for another time. Another
definitely.
story over there. So just in closing here and kind of thinking about tomorrow while still being here today, what you got for me? I love your optimism. I love your positivity. Even if you want to divulge on how you maintain that, what is your Dannyism? What can you leave us with here?
I can just tell you it's recent. My positivity is recent. I just had a positive outlook, but mostly it's keeping your peace. Keep the surrounding yourself. If there's negativity around you, get it away from you. It will bring you down. I've learned that very recently. Well, I knew it, but sometimes it creeps up on you. You don't know, and keeping your peace and keeping your positivity is all about just surrounding yourself by good people and people who believe in the same things that you do. I know that sounds crazy, but it's about the quality of life. Not deeply believe what you believe. No, people can believe what they want. But conceptually, those who believe in quality of life, those who believe in things like history, things who usually religion, it is what it is. You separate yourself. There you go. Separate yourself from crappy stuff, and you will see your life will do well.
From the devil. Don't let the devil do his work.
Don't let him do his work over.
Not today.
Don't let him cast his shadows on you.
And your vibe will always attract your tribe. That is for sure. Angels are among us, Danny boy, and I believe that you're one of them.
Oh wow.
I do. I feel like you're one of the angels out there trying to make positive change just by putting one foot in front of the other and not worrying about a whole lot else because we are so divinely taken care of. I've had this jingle in my head all week leading up to this interview. Can I sing it?
Let's go. Let's hear it.
It goes, let's talk about hemp, Danny. Let's talk about CBD. Let's talk about all the things about hemp, like fiber and THC. Let's talk about hemp. Let's talk about hemp. Okay.
Okay, that was the remix. Great job.
Mic drop. Anything else you want to add?
Not at all. I think we covered a lot here.
We sure did. Well, thanks for coming on, Danny boy.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Yes.
Peace.
Bye.